Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another terrific episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye Spinach. He's the tranquil dart of Ringside Society, Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he asks for a cheap burrito because he loves the combination of chicken and beef. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. 3 continents down, 3 more to go. No cap, straight facts. The worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us. You see, we have a special guest tonight. She's all the way in Atlanta, Georgia. Shout out to all the good people of Atlanta. I love that food. Every time I go there, I get 10 pounds heavier. She's actually a graduate of the 4, or for those of you that aren't from ATL, WWA4. And she's actually just getting better and better and better. Everybody, welcome to the show, the girl on fire, Nikki Heat.
Woo!
How you doing tonight, miss?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Just here, on a lovely Friday evening. Just, kicking back, relaxing. Just got in from my day job. So it's great to finally talk to you. You've been on our radar for a bit. And we got to say, we are very impressed by your ring work. Like, you are like, wow. I just saw your match with Big Money, and you put that arm bar on him. I forgot what it's called. Alberto Del Rio used to use it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was all methodical. I'm like, oh, geez, he does not stand a chance.
Thank you.
So I gotta ask, man. I normally ask, like 99% of all of our guests here, just for our subscribers, our followers that are watching right now. How did your journey? How did your not journey, but how did you become a fan of pro wrestling? What was the match or the main event that you saw that got you hooked?
Okay, so it was the Divas Revolution. Honestly, that's what piqued my interest because, before that, it was like women's wrestling wasn't taken as serious as it is now. And so I never really saw that in my future, but seeing women's wrestling became superstars, it was like, that's where I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, See, I always knew that event would actually, spark some inspiration for a lot of women watching wrestling. And, people call it, evolution. I'm like, no. That wasn't the evolution. Well, I'm 40 years old. I'm old school. So I've been watching wrestling since 1990. Rob, I'm not going to put your business out there, but you know what it is and what's up, but, I actually, when I saw they said evolution, I'm like, no, that's not an evolution. The evolution started with Lita and Trish. I mean,
Yeah.
that's in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. I think it was like a slow movement, and then that really, I guess, mainstreamed it. You know what I mean? Like where everyone got to see it, and there were so many more different kinds of women wrestlers, which could pique different people's interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. So I always said that the evolution was Trish and Lita because they took it up a notch to show that, hey, we can get hardcore just like the guys. Their matches were classic. You had Jacqueline who was there. I don't know if you saw the matches from back in those days, but you had Jacqueline. You had one of the meanest women. And I hope I never meet her because I'll be shaking in my boots. Jazz. You had her doing her thing, and it was just a lot of great talent at that time, and they pretty much set the bar. They raised the bar, and then you had the Divas era, which I wouldn't say it was a downgrade, but it was just like a bit of like a veering off the path.
Yeah.
Which was pretty good. They focused more on the beauty, and then when Charlotte and Paige and Becky Lynch came back on the scene, or they came on the scene, they just were like, okay, we're back on the path we were on before back in 2000. So yeah, that was pretty awesome to see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So, who are some of your favorites you enjoyed watching, like growing up?
Okay, so my all-time favorite is The Undertaker. I love The Undertaker. I've always said I want to have a career like The Undertaker. Like I want to be a household name like him, you know? Um, I've always loved Lita. I've always loved Shawn Michaels. There's just so many. I love some of like the newer people. I've always been a big fan of Paige, Soraya, Becky Lynch. I love all different kinds of styles of wrestling, and I don't know if like how many matches of mine you've seen, but I definitely like implement all different kinds of styles.
That's cool. That's cool. So, have you ever gotten to meet any of them, like in real life before? Have you only just seen them on TV or whenever you go to the shows?
So I never like face to face met Becky Lynch. I met her when I went to my first ever live event. But the only person I've ever met face to face was Natalia, and she is like a total sweetheart in person.
I knew it, man.
Yeah.
You sounded kind of you sounded kind of distorted. Like this, I don't know if it's the audio or something. Robbie, you getting anything?
Yeah, yeah, she cleared me.
It must be me then. Let me see. Hold on.
That happens.
Yeah. So I always knew Natalia was a cool person because I just got this vibe from her that she was like down to earth and whatnot, and I always got that feeling. You just confirmed it, man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it's too bad that you didn't know us 3 years ago, because man, you would have been like, because we had Natalia's cousin. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, Mike the Match Heart. He actually wrestles up in Canada. We had him on our show twice,
Oh,
and we actually had Paige's mom, Soraya Knight, on our show.
oh man, I love her.
And I could tell you right now, I always call that episode the Attitude Era episode, because the stuff she was saying, I was like, and I'm like, I mean, I'm a gentleman, but when I heard her saying certain things, I was like, okay, Kathy and Rob, y'all take this, man. I'm gonna go hide in the back somewhere. Yeah,
I love that. I love that about her.
yeah. So now that you know you're a wrestling fan and you're supporting your favorites and whatnot, now how did your journey go from Nikki Heat wrestling fan to now the girl on fire, Nikki Heat, WWA4 alumni who's kicking butt and taking names all over Georgia, pretty much all over the South?
hmm I started back in 2019 training, and I had saved up all the money to do like the membership and everything, and I just knew that that was where I was supposed to be. I always did like sports growing up, and then I did theater as well. But finding something that combined two of the things that I love the most, sports, entertainment, it was just it was my happy place. It was where I knew I was supposed to be. Cause growing up, I always wanted to do like what everyone else was doing. Like, oh, the cheerleaders, I want to do that. Oh, track, I want to do that. Wrestling was the first thing that I wanted to do because I wanted to do it. And then I got in the ring and I realized, oh, I'm actually good at this. Okay. So, you know, that's where it started. And then developing this character, it's taken a little bit of time because getting confidence in the ring takes time. I mean, I think that is for anyone, but I feel like especially the end of 2023, I finally found that like fire that makes Nikki Heat.
Oh wow, okay, that's a pretty cool story, man. And I'm glad that you actually stuck with it. And now, I think it's only a matter of time. I know it's only a matter of time to see you, everywhere, all over the South, all over, the country. And I'm gonna be like, yo, she did it, man. Like, we just had her on the show, and now she's doing big things. So, y'all at WA4. It's like, I don't like, for some reason, like, once we interviewed, because it started with the North Side Heroes. We saw that, Teriyaki was at a Nightmare Factory, and we saw he was part of a stable, and then we're like, okay, we can't just interview one person in the state. We gotta get everybody. And so far so good. We just have one more person, well, two more, or three more. But we saw you and we were like, oh snap, Nikki Heach, this girl's impressive. Then we saw a couple more people from the four, and I'm like, it's like we just like opened a whole like treasure chest of like talent, and it's like once again, so many people, so little time. So we're glad that's cool that you actually stuck with it as well too. So did you ever get to train with Natalia? Because I know Natalia, she's been training, fellow women's wrestlers. There was a video of her doing a training session with Jade Cargill and another woman you probably met already, Jada Stone.
Yeah. So I've never like trained with Natalia. I've messed around with Jade Cargill. She came to the sport for a little bit, and it was really cool like talking to her and like picking her brain because she came from a basketball background, and so it was just I love making like women wrestling friends. So I love just like talking to them and like seeing how they got from where they were to where they are now. And so she gave me some advice like that. But no, I've never got to chain around with Natalia. I mean, that's definitely a goal. That would be so fun because she's one of the best technical wrestlers.
So a thing that I always say is that you can have I always say this, and you can have your opinions about anything, but when you're around me, you cannot say anything bad about the dungeon. You can't say nothing bad about about her grandfather Stu Hart's training place, and you can't say nothing bad about Natalia's training place. I'm like, if you say anything, I'll be like, no, shut up. I don't want it. But I'm entitled to yes, you are entitled to your opinion, but not this opinion. The dungeon is the best place. Shut up. I've told a couple of wrestling fans that before. I'm like, no, don't disrespect the dungeon. And it's not because of like it's not because of any like I'm trying to like get cool points with the hard time or anything. It's just like, I've seen the talent that they've churned out over the years, over the decades. You got Bret Hart, Owen Hart, the Bulldogs, and even Natalia, she graduated from there. So I'm like, and then you got Jinder Mahal was from there apparently too. So I'm like, nah, you can't say nothing bad about that place.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're doing your thing now with wrestling. You actually got to meet Jade Cargill. Who are some wrestlers that you hope to fight that you get to face in the near future? You can call any names because I mean you done met Jade Cargill, so I mean the sky's the limit. Anything can happen.
Okay, so I have two, and I've had them for the longest time. Obviously, Saraya. I've wanted to wrestle her since before I even stepped in the ring. I love her. And then when she got injured, I was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. Well, then she came back, so I'm like, okay, so she's back on the list. And I met Shotzi back when she was on Evolve, and
Okay.
something about her, I just want to get in the ring with her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shotzi, she's another one that I saw when I was in California. I went to an indie show, and man, she had that crowd going. I was like,
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
And then now she's doing big things over in WB, and I'm happy for her that she actually got that break. So yeah, that'd be an interesting match.
Oh, yeah. That would be so cool.
Yeah. So in regards to your wrestling now, I saw, man, I still can't over the way you just set up big money for that armbar. I was like, geez. She like, Rob, you got to see that match, man. She was like Ronda Rousey. Yeah. When I saw that, you reminded me of like, I don't know if you ever saw this movie Entourage, and there was a guy named Turtle who got challenged by Ronda Rousey to a fight. And she put that armbar on that guy, and I got a flashback of that, man. I was like, this girl ain't playing. But in regards to your wrestling matches, which wrestling match so far stands out to you the most? Like that you would say that you wrestled, didn't think it would have been that good, but then when you look at it, you're like, yeah, this was pretty impressive. Like this was like some epic stuff right here.
Oh my goodness. Well, so I did a match with AR Fox, the trainer at the WWE4. That was my favorite match. That was a few years ago. I think it was back in 2019. Oh my gosh, it was such an amazing match. He pushed me to my limit. Like, it was back and forth the whole time. It was such a good match. I just had a recent match against Jose from the North Side. That was a fun match. That was a really fun match. I liked that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have like a favorite because there's so many different things that I pull from each match that I'm like, wow, I love this. Wow, I love this. You know what I mean? But I guess
Okay.
if I have to pick, it'd probably be Fox, me versus Fox.
Okay.
That was a fun match.
You know, I
Oh,
saw that match. I saw
yeah,
that match, and some told me to watch it, but I didn't watch it. But I'm gonna have to check it out now because
you
you
have
know
to. Yeah.
that sounds like the master like the match to watch for you.
Oh yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah. So I just got a few more questions before I turn it over to Rob. So, in regards to, I know that Fox trained you, and great. He's a great trainer, by the way. Your Coach Fox, man. I'm so happy for him. I've known about him for 11, going on 12 years now. I first met him like back in New Jersey at a Pro Wrestling Syndicate when he was wrestling there, and that man is hella talented. So, in regards to your wrestling style, what wrestlers would you say, if any at all, would you say like influence your in ring style?
So Becky Lynch, definitely The Undertaker. I love like I love Lita. Um, and like I strive to have like as much. I don't know. I Jeff Hardy, he is insane in the ring. So like definitely working my way up to do like stuff like that. But I guess like right now, currently, definitely Becky Lynch, and Paige. Oh, Soraya, my bad. That's her name.
That's awesome. That's cool. Hey, if hopefully we get to see you hit that swanton bomb from the top rope, man. That'll be or what was it, Willow Wisp, the little corkscrew thing that he does when he runs towards the corner, then he
Yeah,
runs up the turnbuckles, then he does like that little spiral thing, which I think it's called Willow in the Wind, or Wisp, something with W.
yeah.
But hopefully we get to see you land that one of these days, man. That'd be awesome.
So, we'd be so crazy.
So, my last question before I turn it over to Rob. So, you know, whenever you're getting ready to do some workouts, in the gym, knock out some cardio, knock out some weightlifting reps, or whenever you're getting ready to face your opponent, what are some songs that the girl on fire has that she just that puts her in that zone?
Okay. This sounds probably crazy, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this band called Hippie Sabotage. I've been obsessed with them for like 2 years now. Definitely Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Okay.
Pretty much any Eminem song is like a straight banger. So,
Okay. One of my all-time favorite Eminem songs that I always work out to is one called "Till I Collapse."
oh yeah.
That's one of my songs that I always have on. And I don't know if you've ever heard this group, but Rob, I know you've heard of them. But Seven Dust, there's a song called "Broken Down." I
Mhm.
always have to have that song on my playlist whenever I'm working out.
Yeah. I'm you know how they're called like foodies? I'm like that with music. I love all kinds
Okay.
of music. I can listen to anything and just like adapt to that song. But I also get like obsessed with a song, so I'll listen to it like 25 times in a row. So I'm probably not the best person to like pass the aux to, but that's something I do too. I'll like
What?
really like the song like over and over, and I just like feel it.
Uh, so funny story. I know I've repeated this all the time. Rob is probably sick of hearing me talk about this. So there was one point I used to work out in the gym 24/7. When I was stationed in North Carolina, and and whoever got to the gym first, they'd normally like access the aux via Bluetooth.
Mhm.
So me now, I'm the kind of person like my workout playlist is crazy. You'll hear some Seven Dust 1 minute, then you'll hear some probably some Tupac, and then maybe some Def Leppard, and some Call Me Maybe by what's it, Carly Rae Jepsen,
Yeah.
or and then you might hear some wrestling entrance music, right? Y'all don't judge me out there. I do work out to some wrestling theme songs sometimes. It is what it is. But I
Oh,
remember one time I was on the bike and some guys were like weightlifting. They got in like right after me, and I don't think they knew it was me, or I think I got in like after two other guys. I took over the ox, and then some other guys came in and they started working out. So all of a sudden they were like, hey, hey, who's in control of the ox? Like, who's playing all this music? And I'm just there. I have my headphones in my ear still. Forgot to take them off, and I'm still pedaling. And I'm just like, don't say nothing. They won't know nothing. So they're trying to find out who's playing the music, and I'm just like, I have my headphones in my ears. I'm just doing my little cardio and whatnot. So, so that was that. That's my little gym story right there with the ox. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn to Rob over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of he has a couple of questions. So Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Nikki? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. Thank you for asking. So how was your holiday and New Year and stuff? Was everything great? Did you get to see family? Hit the buffets? And celebrate the New Year?
I got to spend time with the family. I worked during New Year's.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so I did that. But like Christmas, I worked Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but I worked my schedule out where I could spend the most time with family.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Well, that's good. Hey, well, don't feel bad about New Year's. I think I made it to about 10:30, 11, and that was it. I mean, like once I hit 40 and got over that, that it's even harder, to stay up past 10. I'm like, oh yeah. But I have my three beagles with me, so we're all good. You know what I mean? As long they'll hang with me, so I'm good.
Red Bull, Rob. Red Bull. Red Bull. This
Oh
works.
man, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, if I did that, I'd be up for like 2 days, man. It's like, whew. Now you were talking about one of your favorite wrestlers is Undertaker. Now,
Oh yeah.
when did you get into Undertaker? What phase? Because I remember when he came out. It was like the Western under cemetery Undertaker dude. You know what I mean? And then you got the American Badass Ministry and all that. So when did you start getting into Undertaker? And you're like, yo, this dude's awesome.
Okay, so I have the funniest story. A lot, like I was really young, and my cousin, she used to love wrestling. It was
Mm,
before I was interested in it, but I remember seeing The Undertaker. We were downstairs in like the basement. There was no window, so there was no lights on.
mhm.
And he was standing, like he did his entrance, and it was like he had his eyes rolled back and his tongue as far out as it could go. And I was like, change that. That is nightmare fuel, girl. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. But then a few years later, I started watching like Monday Night Raw and everything. And I mean, I think I've loved all his phases, but my favorite match ever was Undertaker versus Mankind. I
Ooh,
mean,
yes.
that's an amazing match, but I don't know. I mean, I know whenever they had, what was the app that WWE used to have where you could watch all their old archive videos and
Oh
everything?
yeah, WWE, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I would go through and like watch all his matches, like from start to finish. So I don't know. I've always loved that character, like how he's just like such a badass. I don't know.
Mhm.
I love everything.
So, yeah, you mentioned that Mankind match and stuff, and I remember when Mankind when he first came to WWE and stuff. Where I was like, man, he took it to Undertaker, and I was like, somebody's really messing with the Undertaker, keeping him down. I was like, okay, all right, Cactus Jack. I was like, I like how they're doing with this, because before then, Undertaker was like, he felt no pain or whatever, and then after that, I was like, now
Oh
I
yeah.
have a funny Undertaker story also. when I was in like I think I was in sixth grade. The WWE they came they were going around doing house shows and they came to my local high school, the one I went to, and they had Bret Hart was there. Yeah, Undertaker fought Diesel in a casket match. Kevin Nash in a casket match, and Bob Backlund was there too. So whatever year that was, I can't remember, 94, 5, 6, somewhere around there. Well, during the match, Undertaker and Diesel they were fighting, and Diesel he got his head busted open real bad. So after the match he had to leave and stuff. So all of us kids were like, let's go out there and check out Kevin Nash and Undertaker, see if they're leaving or whatever. So we hurried up, ran out, real, to the parking lot. We're looking. We see Kevin Nash rolling through. He was in a Camaro, and that dude was so tall, like he was in the Camaro. His knees were like, touching his chest, and he's like, all the way back like that. I was like, wow. So we're like, all right, well, we're sitting there a couple minutes. It's like, all right, I guess Undertaker isn't coming out yet. But yeah, Undertaker comes on out. Him and Paul Bearer, they start coming out and all. But when they're coming out, they weren't talking about the match or anything. They're arguing over who had the last of the vodka. You know what I mean? Going there, girl, like, I didn't have it. You're the one who had it. We're all like, that's why Taker feels no pain. We're like, we got it now. Okay, that's why. They're like, there we go. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
Now you're also saying, you did a theater background too, sports and stuff. So, wrestling, that's a live thing. Anything can happen. So how's having a theater background, help you out with that? Because sometimes it's like, oh man, we can't, this we got to change up, do this, because I know sometimes you might have to do that in the theater, like, oh, I forgot a line, do this or whatever. So, has that helped you out or anything with promos, doing matches or anything like that?
Um, I I definitely implemented things that I've learned from theater into
Hmm.
things that I need to know for wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely like learning how to work a crowd and react with the crowd. Um, that helped. Um, I will say, I guess more sports stuff has helped me with wrestling than theater did. Because I wasn't a theater kid for long, but
Okay.
I don't know. I just loved putting on shows for people and
Hmm.
entertaining people. So I think the most thing that it did was light the fire for entertaining people.
Yeah.
If that
Okay, I got you.
hmm
Now, when you're now doing sports and stuff, you're probably like going in training, you're like I'm pretty in shape, but there's always a difference between ring shape, being in shape and ring shape because you could be like Lance Armstrong or whatever, LeBron James, they're in shape. There's somebody who's in shape. If they get in that ring or whatever, hit the ropes a couple times, they going to whew, I'm blowing up for a minute. Hold on a second, So yeah, well, did you feel any of that when you first started training?
Oh yeah, I always say that there is two different being in shape and being in ring shape are two different things. You'd be People are so surprised to like know that because a like 5-star athlete could get in the ring and run around, do drills and everything, and they're like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I definitely say that all the time.
Oh yeah. Look, I tell people I started training this stuff. I was in my late 30s when I started this. So they had me running and all. I was literally, I'm like, oh, I got 5 heart attacks going. Let this last one pass. All right, here we go. Let's go again. What I mean, I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend doing it younger. But yeah, I know what you mean. What I mean, like yeah, you hit that rope, you're like, yeah, I've been running. I'm feeling, my lungs. You hit the ropes or whatever. You're like, oh, okay, all right. And it's like, all right, let's do some monkey rolls, up and over. You're like, oh my lord. All right. Like, woo.
Oh yeah, training you definitely use muscles you didn't know existed.
Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, I did that too. I would wake up and I'd be like, "Oh my lord! Like, where is this at? Like, oh man, here we go. Yeah, this spot in my leg hurts. Oh my lord! Wow."
My knees. I was like, what? I don't understand why my knees hurt so bad. That's crazy.
My elbows would, when I was doing that, we were learning to do bumps. My elbows would like hurt and stuff all the time. I'm like, oh man, why I wouldn't feel like my elbows hitting around. I'm like, and next day I'm like, okay, whatever.
Permanent bruises.
Oh yeah. Oh, you should have seen my back when I was learning how to run the road, man. It's just like just bruised, just you got to build that callus or whatever up on that one there. Whew, man, it's awful. Now, you were talking about, your first match, one of your favorite matches with your trainer AR Fox. Was that your very first match that you got to, perform in front of everyone?
No. Back in 2016, I trained with Dory Funk Jr.
Ooh, okay.
So my very first match was with a girl named
What?
Marina Tucker. She goes by, I want to say, she wrestles with WoW, and her name is Penelope Pink over there. So she was the first ever female I wrestled. Well, the first ever person I wrestled. I didn't stay there very long. I think I only trained there for 4 months. Dory Funk Jr., he's the biggest sweetheart. He is like, I don't know, he's so funny. I love him. I respect everything that he has done, and I'm grateful for everything that he's taught me. I took a bit of a break, and then I started going to researching like schools in Atlanta. And a friend of mine was like, hey, you should check out this school. It's the WA4. And I remember looking up Fox and being like back when he did like Lucha Underground, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think that's anything that I can do. Oh my gosh. But I was so intrigued. Like, I was like, I need to meet this guy. I need to see what this is about. And so I went to a Thursday show and I seen a bunch of the guys perform and I seen Fox perform and everything. Um, but Fox was my first match because he normally does like graduation matches.
Hmm.
So for you to like graduate, you have to go against the trainer. But he was my first match, and I had that match Thursday, and we had a super show Friday, and I think it was like 4 versus 4. It was such a fun match because it was like chaotic. People were jumping off 20-foot ladders. There was a rope part. I got to hit Fox with like plywood. It was
Oh
a good
man.
time. It was such a good time. So my first match was Marina Tucker, but then my first like we didn't really get to do a lot of stuff. Like I didn't really get to showcase
Hmm.
like what I knew I could do. But once I came to the floor, Nikki, her first match was with Fox, and then anyone else who wanted to step in the ring with me.
There you go. There you go. Now, how did you get up with Dory Funk Jr.? How did that come about? Were you doing research and found this school or something?
Yeah, I was doing research. I found a school in Ocala, Florida, and I seen Dory Funk Jr. Um, I liked what he was doing, what he had done, what he was doing, um, and so I just really wanted to learn from him. And so I went down there. I learned from him and his wife. She
Hmm.
like taught us, me and Marina mostly, like how women acted in wrestling, and like presented themselves. They did things very old school,
Yeah.
not like how things are now. So
Hmm.
everything that I learned from them was either like old school or Japanese based
Hmm.
wrestling stuff. Because Dory Funk is very big in like Japanese wrestling,
Yeah.
which that's it's amazing. So I wanted to learn from him. And yeah, so I went down there, I packed all my stuff, moved down there for a little bit, and then I didn't stay for very long because of some family stuff. And then I moved back up here, and then I got the itch again. And I was like, I had to start saving up because I was young. So I had to start saving up. And then that's when I joined the four.
Oh, that's awesome. Now your family did. How they feel about you? Wrestling stuff. Do they cheer you, support you? Do they boo you if they need to?
My mom is hilarious. If you ever see her in the ring or like outside of the ring, sorry, not
Hmm.
in the ring, she'll be
Yeah.
like, "That's my daughter." But I broke my nose a few years ago doing a code red off the top rope.
Mm,
It was pretty gnarly. Like I busted my lip. I
mm,
fractured like the bone like right here.
mm.
And yeah, my mom was not very happy about that. She wanted me to stop, but she knew how much I loved it. So she was like, Okay, you can do it, but please stop. Like, don't get hurt. Like, and I told her, I love this. It's sometimes things happen. It is what it is, but they definitely support me. They love what I do. I sent them the link to this live stream. I'm sure she's watching. She shares all my stuff. My dad is, he loves it. He loves not he doesn't just love me though. Like he
Yeah,
does what he wants to do. Like he cheers me, he boos me, but he loves just watching everything in general. He's like a kid in a candy store. I love it.
that's awesome. Like I'll go to shows like I'm repping or whatever, and if my dad or whatever, mom, if they're off and they can come make the show, they're always like, uh, who's that person wrestling over there? Yeah, like Willow Nightingale's there. That's their favorite wrestler. They love watching her. And they're like, do you think we can meet her or something? Like during halftime. Do you think or intermission? Do you think you can bring her over there? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I could probably do that. They do that stuff.
Oh
It's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
and I can always hear them, because if like like if I'm a like a manager's up here, yelling at me or whatever, I'm trying to yell and get down. There might be some chicanery behind me, I didn't see, and everybody's like, turn around, you suck. Yeah. I can always hear mom and dad and sister, brother, the loudest, this ref sucks, get him out of here. I love it.
Oh yeah.
It's
You
the
can
greatest. I love
definitely
family.
shout it out.
That's right. So, when is your next match? Do you have anything coming up? Are you like, booked, for the next couple months? Are you pretty much busy for the next few weekends?
I have a few things coming up.
Excuse me.
Um, I have something on the 28th. I'm doing a show, Deep South. I have there's a new promotion in February I'm doing. It's called RIPW. I'm really excited for that match because it's an opponent that I've never faced before. I'm not going to say
Ooh,
anything else because I don't want to get in trouble, but I'm super excited. 2024 is the year of Nikki Heat, the girl on fire. I have a bunch of things coming up that I'm super excited to share. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
that's awesome. Yeah, I wish nothing but the best. I hope you're out there kicking butt and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
So, traveling around, all these places and stuff, Atlanta, going to Dory Funk and all that, different shows. Do you have any, funny travel stories that have happened to you? Like maybe you ran into, a chupacabra or a Bigfoot on the side of the road or something, or something crazy, Is there anything crazy like that happen?
Back when Evolve was running, me and a couple of the four guys, we took a Greyhound bus all the way up to, I think it's Philly. I don't know why we did that. I think we thought we were gonna like sightsee, but we
Hmm.
definitely didn't because halfway through we all got the stomach bug.
Ooh,
And so we had to show up to Evolve with like our brave game faces on, like everything was all cool.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, that's pretty much like the funniest thing that ever happened, like the craziest thing. I don't really have like a ton of like travel stories. Everything usually, knock on wood, runs smooth for me. But that was probably the only thing that ever happened that I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I can imagine that. Yeah, yeah. And you're on a Greyhound bus, and it's like, yeah. I think they only got like one bathroom or something too. Ooh,
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I didn't do that.
yeah. That was probably that was woo, yeah. That's crazy. I don't blame you on that one.
Yeah, I
Now,
won't.
speaking of Phillies, oh no, go ahead.
I said I won't be doing that again.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you. Now, speaking of Philly and stuff, WrestleMania, is going to be up in Philly. Are you going to do any? Are you plans on trying to get any shows up here or
I would.
whatnot? Because I'm in Delaware, and I'm with One CW, and we need Sean Carlson. He's booking the women's division and stuff, and we always need talent. So hey,
Oh yeah, I would love to. I don't have anything booked yet, but that's just that. It's not yet. I hope so because WrestleMania and like the shows around WrestleMania, they are always so crazy. I always get like FOMO. I want to be there because I've never
yeah,
got to go, but I've always wanted to. So I hope so. That would be so exciting.
yeah, because we're doing our show. It's us and like four other companies. We're having like one big day. It's like I think we're doing it on a Friday. but
Uh-huh.
we're not in actual Philly because we were going to do it in Philly, but the venue fell through, so we're in like West New or we're like 15 minutes away in Jersey, like across the bridge, but we're still right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my cousin he lives in Philly, and I was telling him I was like, yeah, WrestleMania's going to be up there, so it's gonna, he's like, what are you talking about? What for real? Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, during that week it's going to be jam packed, so yeah, if you need to go to work or do whatever, you leave early. You might have to want to leave a little bit early.
Oh yeah.
Mm. So before I, pass it on back to Remy, I do want to ask, I'm always trying to, find something new and cool to watch, because I always get stuck watching the same things over and over again, like comfort shows, like Archer or, Dexter, stuff like that. I'm always trying to, find something new. So, like, is there anything new you've seen or, you're watching lately, you could recommend?
Mm, I'm the same way. I like to find like comfort shows and I stick to them. I'm a big Friends fanatic. I love
Okay.
Friends. I love Grey's Anatomy. But I did start watching this one series. I think it's called The Great. It's either The Great or The Great Show.
Okay.
And it's like a British show on Netflix. And there's only like 2 or 3 seasons, but it's kind of like very crude humor. So
Hmm.
you gotta like that kind of stuff. You kind of have to
Oh,
have
yeah.
like that like funny bone, or you ain't gonna like it. But I kind of like it. I'm
Yeah,
the
hey,
same.
you're talking to somebody who likes scary movies and stuff, so.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I just watched Evil Dead Rising, I think.
Ooh,
Oh
yes.
my god. I seen that commercial and I was like, no, no. But then I kept seeing it and I was like, wait, it's actually scaring me. I don't really get scared. I love scary movies. I love horror things. And so I watched it and I was like, oh my god. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I liked it, man. Every time, whenever somebody says "Evil Dead's Rise," I just think of the cheese grater. When she grabbed it and was like, I was like, oh. Now, last year there was a movie. I think it was Barbarian or whatever. I watched. It was, I think, the mom. There was like this big monster mom or whatever. She was living in the tunnels and she would come out and stuff or whatever at night. And yeah, it had like it was real crazy and stuff. Man, I remember it was pretty crazy. And Smile really got me that beginning. Like with that woman, like every time I flip through the things, she's like got that smile, and then I was like, oh, it just creeps me out. Like for a couple days, I was like. I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, it was just creepy.
Yeah, that one reminded me of, I don't know if you've ever seen Countdown.
Hmm.
That movie was crazy.
Countdown.
And then they had like an app that you could download and you're like, and I think I downloaded it and it was like you have like 10 months. And I was like, ah. I didn't want to download it, but my friend made me.
now, now I did see you. You're rocking the Jason shirts and stuff. Now he's my favorite slasher or whatever. But like if
Yeah.
somebody, they're like, oh, I like Freddy or Michael Myers. I'm not gonna argue with them. So like, yeah, I like them too. They're awesome. But Jason's my favorite. So like, who would be your favorite? Like this slash like Chucky, Jason and stuff like that.
I think, I don't know why, I love Jason. I'm not scared of him. He's like a little baby to me. I don't know why. I mean, like, I mean, I hope he doesn't come out because then I would be scared. But like, I love him. The only one that I'm actually like genuinely terrified, and I don't even know why, is Michael Myers. No. I I think it was last year. I made him my home screen so I
Hmm.
could like look at him and I'm like, we're gonna face our fears. And
There
then
you
anytime
go.
I get a notification, I'm like, oh no, no. I don't know what it was. I was gonna do like a Michael Myers thing because
Hmm.
I just really want to just embody him. So maybe I won't be so scared of him. But yeah, I don't know. I love a good slasher movie. So
Yeah, I'm good with one too. It doesn't even have to be like the greatest thing. Just give me, some, young adults out there, drinking, smoking, doing their premarital stuff, and then a slasher out there wiping everyone out. Hey, I'm happy as long as it's entertaining.
the corny, like they don't tell you someone's behind you. They're just like that. Yeah,
Hmm.
you're like,
Yeah,
why would you
yeah,
go that way? Like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or they hear a noise and be like, "Oh my God, what was that? That was a bunch of footsteps up there and stuff." It's like, no, 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 that was just the wind. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, okay. Let me go check it out by myself.
Let's all split up. Yeah, that
Yes,
one.
let's split up.
Yeah.
That was like a scary movie too. Like, yeah, it really all split up. All right, you three come with me, and they're like, oh damn, we're gonna die. Yeah, I love a good scary movie and stuff. Yeah, I wish I could watch them in the theaters and all, but when I go to the theater, when they hit the lights and stuff, that's like it's always been curtains for me. Like I'll start drowsing. No matter what it is, I'm bad in the theater, so I have to
I
wait till like
don't
they
like
come out.
I don't like other people's like pre-reactions. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like they'll
Yeah,
scream before the scary thing happens, and I'll be like, okay.
that's
Either
right.
it's like I love it and I hate it.
Yeah. Now I remember last time I went to the theaters and watched the Hunger Games. I forget which one it was, but I went with my sister, and my sister was like, "Well, my friend and her kids are going to come and stuff." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And well, when I go into the theater, I bring soda, sandwich, chips. I'm like, I'll just bring it in there because they don't care. I remember I was sitting there and I was like, I had a can of soda, and I was getting ready to open it, and right when it was all the commercials stopped, it was all quiet, and all I hear everybody started laughing. The kids were all like, "What?" It's just soda. Don't worry.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, yeah, they're probably like, oh man, this man's over here eating a cheesesteak and all this stuff. I was hungry. I gotta eat. I want to stay up and watch it. I gotta stay up and watch this movie. I need something.
Oh yeah.
Now, before I pass it on back to Remy, I do want to say, thank you very much for coming on and chatting with us. I had an awesome time. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope you get to achieve all the goals you set out for. I hope you get to go all over the country, kicking butt, getting championships. I hope you get to go to Japan, Europe, all that good stuff. And kicking butt, and hopefully one day we see you on TV and be like, hey man, we got to chat with her one day. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thank you so much for having me. This is so fun. I love this.
Nikki, thanks a lot, for actually, taking time out of your schedule to be on our show. We really and truly appreciate it. Well, I still can't believe you got to train with Dory Fong Jr. That's amazing. You're the first person that we've ever had on the show, at least to my knowledge, that has actually trained at the Funkin' Dojo.
Oh
That's
yeah.
pretty impressive.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, we wish you all the best. Like I said, best believe when we see you make it on the big screen, we'll definitely be cheering you on.
Oh, thank you.
Happy that you actually made it. Before we actually shut this show down, where can fans find you on social media when they want to find out when next appearances, purchase Nikki Heat merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
I'm most prominent on Instagram, and that's _Nikki Heat. I do believe it's the same for Twitter, but I have everything linked on Instagram that'll take you to all my socials. But I I love Instagram. I post everything on my stories. I post match cards on like the my page, and then promoters can definitely reach out to me in my messages, and I can get back to them a lot faster than anywhere else.
Awesome. So for those of y'all that heard, definitely go ahead and give this woman a follow. She's doing a lot of great things. Promoters, WrestleMania week is coming up. If you're looking for, somebody to give you that top-notch match, definitely hit up this woman. She is that damn good in the ring. You will not be disappointed. And with
You.
that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyes are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, Rob Bass, the Sean Spence to my Burton Gus to the Eminem to my Royster 5'9". Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out my next experiences, purchase Rob Bass merchandise, and where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Instagram, X at Rob_Base82, and then Facebook Rob Base. You can catch me our next show, 1CW. Our next show is January 13th. Two matchups are already announced. The first one is a women's match. It's Kaya McKenna versus Gabby Ortiz, and the second match announced is a tag team championship match where our current champions, the Horribles, will be defending against the former champions, the Reality Era, in a last team standing match. So you definitely want to check that out. You can catch us 1CW on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. You can catch us Delmarva Sports Network, the channel, if you're in the Delaware, Delmarva area. We're on 10 a.m. every morning. And if you missed out or whatever, you can always go to DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com, check out past shows, and everything else and get called up and be good to go.
That's awesome, man. Kaya McKenna, that's a big name, man, from Black and the Brave. That's awesome, man. Like y'all definitely lucky y'all get to see that match. If you're in Delaware, definitely check out that show, man. You trust me, you will not be disappointed. Hopefully one day we get to see Nikki Heat do her thing over there, in 1CW for that women's title one day as well. So with that being said, if you want to find me on social media, not that I say a lot of cool things, but I do go to a couple of cool places every now and then. You can find me on X and Instagram at the Remy Blue. You can also find me on Facebook as Remy Blue, and our podcast is on social media. We're on Twitter. I keep calling it Twitter, X and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group. We're also on Spotify. We're also on Teespring, where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We have T-shirts, tank tops, hoodies. We even have coffee mugs. We have a couple of new designs coming very soon, so watch out for those. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we just had with Jay Lucas, Keelan Cole, the Northside Heroes. You can find all of those interviews on our YouTube channel. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really good looking dark blue and light blue, yin yang sound with blue flames around it, that's where you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to our videos, because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But as a matter of fact, Rob Bass, should I tell him who we have next week? Should I tell him?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So next Thursday at the same time, 9:00 p.m., which is going to be 8:00 p.m. for all my people in the middle and 6:00 p.m. for all my West Coast writers, we will be having a return. We'll be having a couple that actually wrestle. They've been on our show separately, but now they're coming back as a couple. Straight from the Nightmare Factory Cab 2. That's right. You know we love our Nightmare Factory as well as we love the 4. We're going to be having Lewis Levels and his equally impressive wife, the principal of Karma, Karma Dean. We'll be having them on our show next Thursday, 9:00 p.m. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because we're going to be looking forward to hear what they've been up to since the last time we talked to them. Man, it's been 3 years. Whew, where's the time gone? But they'll be back, and they'll be letting us know what it is and what's up with them lately. But until then, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you very much. We really and truly appreciate it. We're one of the best wrestling podcasts a wrestling fan could, should, and would listen to, and we're not going to stop being that. So those of y'all that are listening later on when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those of y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away, well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we just want to let everybody know that we're very well and aware. It's no secret. Everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag, we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the 4, and one time for the girl on fire, Nikki Heat.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, and we'll be back next week with some more impressive guests on some more impressive episodes. But until then, we just have 4 favors for y'all. Stay safe, stay healthy, make goals, and stay winning. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.